Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Breaker. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 4 available now. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself, what up, world? So I just watched White Boy Rick. It stars Richie Merritt, Matthew McConaughey, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Rory Cochrane, Brian Tyree Henry, Belle Powley, Bruce Dern, Piper Laurie, Jonathan Majors, YG, Danny Brown, Eddie Marsan, and Taylor Page. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. It is directed by Yann Demange, and if I'm not mistaken, this is his domestic directorial debut. If you want to get a shout out in my review of, just to be safe, let's say Smallfoot, stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out how you can do that. So, you got Rick, who happens to be a Caucasian male. He doesn't have the most wholesome upbringing. His dad, Matthew McConaughey, is doing whatever he's got to do to make some money. And with this being his influence, Rick doesn't necessarily get mixed in with the best crowd. Drugs are involved, weapons are involved, the cops get involved. He does what he has to do to make good for his family. It is the 80s. It is the crack epidemic. It is Detroit. Over the course of like 3 years, man, his life becomes a circus. And me particularly, man, I try to stay away from anybody's reaction of a movie before I've seen it myself. And for this, I caught a little bit of first reviews, first reactions, and they weren't the greatest. Like, they were kind of all over the place. I liked this movie, man. What drew me in, what got me hooked within the first 5 minutes was the character of Rick and his attitude and the way he carries himself at such a young age. And that's all based on the performance of Richie Merritt. This dude, I know he's never going to see this review, man, but Richie Merritt gives a great performance. He kills this movie. He carries it throughout. He's in almost every scene. Matthew McConaughey may be the most famous actor in this movie, but he's a supporting role. And he he's there, and he kind of tries to steer Rick off of the path he's going on, the road he's going down, but there just comes to a point where decisions are made and consequences have to be dealt with. There are, something happens to Rick, and I don't really know if it was justified, man, because Rick never, he may have been witnessed doing some things, but he never specifically, I never, saw, unless, I dozed off of something, which I didn't. I didn't hear or see a scene where he directly did what he was assumed of doing, but he was the sore thumb in the group, so maybe that's why he got targeted. I don't know. Jennifer Jason Leigh is good in this. I'm glad to see Brian Tyree Henry finally getting movie roles. He's great in Atlanta, man. Atlanta is such a dope show on its own, and he's a big part of that. And I can't wait to see Widows later this year. And man, Matthew McConaughey himself, man, he's been killing practically everything he's in for 20 straight years, all the way back to Amistad, Contact, The Time to Kill, probably even before that, man. I don't know, and especially if you take out that stretch of romantic comedies he did. It's bananas to once it sinks in that this movie, for the most part, Hollywood takes its liberties. I would assume 85% of this movie is legit, though. It's crazy to know that this movie actually happened. Just this kid, man, and it just took it upon himself. And maybe the best decisions weren't made, but you know, he had to do what he had to do. I don't know, like I'm drawing blanks now, man. I recorded this review already. This is the second time I recorded this review, and the iMovie crashed and lost my first video, so I don't remember everything I said. I enjoyed this movie, man. Like it's like American Made meets Black Mass with the 80s mixed in, a little bit of Donnie Brasco, a little bit of American Gangster. Like that's it. If you put Black Mass, American Gangster, American Made, and Donnie Brasco in a blender, you're gonna get White Boy Rick. It's very well acted. Some people will say that it might drag, but it didn't drag for me, man, because I was invested in the story. And I wouldn't say it's one of the great crime dramas, but I really liked it. So with all that being said, man, in my opinion, I will say that White Boy Rick is dope. Have you seen White Boy Rick? What did you think about it, man? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. If you want to give that shout out in, like I said, let's say Smallfoot, it could be sooner. What's the top five going to be at the box office this opening weekend, man? The opening weekend of White Boy Rick, A Simple Favor, and The Predator. Be the first with the correct five in order, 1 through 5. You'll get the shout out in my next review. I've recently posted reviews for Peppermint, Searching, The Happy Time Murders. I posted my top 5 favorite movies of summer. Regularly podcast, 4 episodes in the can. Episode 5 coming soon. I want to see. I might not see The House with the Clock on Its Walls. I want to see Smallfoot. I might not see Night School. And then we already about to be in October. Like, that's crazy in itself. Like, subscribe, comments. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.